the most important ingredient of success is you have to have a delusional sense of self-belief. You know? And I say delusional because we grow up in a world that teaches you not to believe in yourself.
I thought I told you this is my world, baby.
Yo, welcome to Mozzie's World. I'm Mozzie, by the way. Thank y'all for tuning in to the show. And a lot of y'all have been watching our content but haven't hit the subscribe button, according to Skrills. So we need to get those subs up. It's free. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any episodes in the future. Thank y'all for tuning in advance. And now, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, party people, in the place to be, it's your boy M-A-Z. I'm back with another episode. What episode is this, Skrills?
This is 140.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
You've been working. Skrills, what's going on, man?
Chilling, man. I'm excited. For this one, man.
For those that don't know, this is day 3 of us working in a row. So we did what, Friday, Saturday, and then today?
And today, man.
Wow. Just working, normal day in the office.
Business as usual.
Yeah. And then to the right of me, you talk about a businessman.
I told
you know what
man,
I mean?
I'm excited, man.
Look.
I learned a new word because my man. We'll get to it.
So look, I'm proud to say, obviously represent the city. You know what I mean? That's one check. And a big check from these Skrills. He out the Northeast side.
Here you go.
Okay, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but I've told you, bro, you got a point. There's something in the water.
Something in the water on this side, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's a fact.
You talk about going viral, like when people have moments, right, of going viral, they kind of hang on to it. Not gonna lie, we've held on to that Kendrick moment for a minute, Skrills. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But this man has done it so many times where, let me see if my memory's correct. As a music artist, the Jersey Shore Fist Pump song, right?
You went back, yo.
Come on, bro. I know a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my
the
God.
The Jersey
yeah.
Shore Fist Pump was one. This man also single-handed. Oh, you pulling up the video?
I'm ready. It's on you.
Dog, come on. Let's rock. Let's react to it, man.
Welcome to the
Now that
one single-handedly. When you talk about bringing back Toonami, Mr. Adult Swim.
Yes. That was the era.
That was this guy. Toonami back. Y'all remember that one?
Fire. Yeah.
This man right here to the right of me, and then now, let's see, making video games during the height of the Kendrick and Drake beef, like.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I got questions on that one, man.
Oh yeah, ask away.
Yeah, bro. I forgot about the Star Wars tape you did too.
Life After Death Star.
Life After Death Star. There's so many moments.
Right.
Let me shut up, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Richie Branson is in the building. Has landed on Mozzie's World finally.
Yeah,
long
it's been
overdue.
a long time coming. Yeah, long time coming.
How you doing, man?
Oh, busy, yo.
I could tell.
I am tired. I'm just trying to hang on to life, yo.
Yeah.
But it's been spectacular. This sort of new lane that I've gotten in. It's been so fulfilling. A lot of business has come in, and a lot of just really cool things have happened in the past year and a half. And I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm alive. I should have been dead, but I'm not. So.
And you out here, island hopping, country hopping, if you will.
Yeah.
Visiting Africa. What Nas said? Shout out Nas, sincere. I feel like this is the real life sincere. I'm going to Africa, yo.
I'll tell y'all, Africa is it's so peaceful, y'all.
Yeah.
That's where I go to really get work in and really get into a groove of being creative, because everybody out there has got to be creative every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that problem solving mentality, that's a place to go to kind of keep that iron sharpening iron. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Before we get into all that, for those who've literally been living under a rock and do not know who Richie Branson is, who is Richie Branson?
Oh, man. Well,
where do we start, right?
Yeah, we can take it all the way back, man. I graduated from Judson High School.
You hear that,
Side, you know what I'm saying?
Huh?
Shout out Jeff.
Yeah. What up, Jeff? So, I got my start as a producer, making beats.
Yeah.
went to school at U of H and started rapping with my friends in the dorm room out there. And so then sort of went into this process of like, okay, I like making beats, but I also like rapping.
For sure.
So kind of got into that Kanye West feel. I called myself Kanye South in college. Like, nobody has ever known that. I was so corny, but they called me Kanye South, Moody Towers, University of Houston. That was my name. So it was really fun. Dropped out. Came back to San Antonio, got a job at Best Buy.
Nice.
Tried to go back to school, dropped out again. Because I just realized like school wasn't, I don't know. For me, I can't learn in a classroom like that.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? At least in high school, it's like, yeah, get on that bus, son. You know what I mean? But when you don't have that, it's like, okay. For me, I wasn't just the type of person who wanted to just, I guess, learn on my own in that way. Mm-hmm. So, I dropped out again, and here we are. Started rapping, did some really cool stuff rapping, did a few tours, toured a few continents. That was dope.
Yeah.
Got into game design at some point, and since then it's been, man, the game design thing has just really took off though. Like that has been something that I didn't expect to like really do what it's doing now.
Yeah.
But I'm so thankful. You know what I mean? Like,
man, look, because when I tell you, like, I feel like you definitely took advantage of the MySpace lane.
Right.
Because remember the MySpace era, we were all coding at one point, designing pages.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand,
yo, you right.
decided to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? And you really made it yours, and you made it into a career.
Right.
Where it, you know what I mean? You're taking care of the fam with that. You know? And I think that's extremely dope because you're showing one side of the coin where you don't have to sell drugs or have a wicked jump shot like Biggie said, you know what I mean? You're really showing like, yo, you can get money by going into video games. Like while people love video games and playing games, you can actually be behind that and design your own video games.
Right.
And you're showing that.
This is very important too, because like that is like the key reason that Fan Arcade that I started the company was, when I was growing up and, we grew up same side of town, like when I saw like what Black success looked like, it was people selling drugs, it was people hooping, people rapping.
Right.
And that's why I started making beats, because I was like, I had this dream of like getting a deal with Rock Nation. Well, Rockefeller Records at the time.
Yeah.
Because I wanted that rock chain so bad.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, growing up, that was like I said, that was my outward sort of aspiration, was looking at, people who look like me, where they came from, same place as me. How did they get it? And as we know, like it's very limited in terms of what we perceive to be path to success, right?
Correct.
So Fan Arcade was sort of a concept that I came up with after I did the Kendrick Lamar Not Like Us game and that whole thing.
Right.
Because I realized like there is an appetite for video games in people who aren't necessarily, playing PlayStation 5 or playing Xbox. Like they're not hardcore.
Right.
But if they see the intersection of gaming and something within pop culture that they like, they will marvel at the combination of the two and engage.
Correct.
And so once I saw that with the Not Like Us thing, I sort of said, okay, well, it would be a good time to kind of start like a company. Black faces in gaming are like few and far between. Like, I got so many stories about that, because I used to work for Epic Games. I worked on Fortnite.
Right.
Worked at Harmonix Music Systems, which did like Rock Band, and they were the original creators of Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
So I've had experience in the gaming industry as a designer, and I've seen sort of how we're represented in that space. And it's like, man, why isn't there a lot more representation of us there, right? So kind of circling back to that point that we made about just there not being like a beacon of like, I could do it like he did.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the same way I had dreamed of being a Rockefeller Records producer, I felt like if I started something that could show people that we can do that, that it's not some sort of arcane rocket science that requires a degree from MIT and a whole bunch of connections, because I have none of those, like I self-taught everything, right? So if I could show people that you can do this and there's like not really like a big barrier to entry to it, and you could still maintain, who you are through it, like the one thing I enjoy about this is I get to still be myself, right? Like I
Right.
don't have to, you know, when you think about tech, you think about like people in suits and they're really buttoned up and preppy and like, hi, I'm Dave. Like
Yeah.
we're none of that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I think that's so important to remain like culturally authentic while at the same time like being very technically sound. Like all of these brands have partnered with us and they trust our ability to deliver a technically sound product that's actually designed by some professionals who know what they're doing.
Right.
But at the same time, you have the added layer of knowing like we actually some cool people. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
And so, you know, I want like the kids that are growing up and seeing this whole thing happen and seeing like, man, maybe I'll learn how to code and get a fan arcade chain one day. Maybe I get to
Exactly.
be a fan arcade coder. And it's not about whether you actually achieve that, because I never got signed to Rock Nation, I never got the rock chain, but because I had something to attach it to, I succeeded in what I did. You know what I'm saying? I found some success in music because I had an initial spark. And so if I could just create something that could be that spark for like the next kid that's growing up and looking for, you know, things to be inspired by, then that's a win.
For sure.
That's a win.
And like you said, seeing this, they see the fan arcade chain and they're like, yeah, I want that.
Right,
now.
right.
Now you're that representative.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, man, look, I'm sure if the kids happen to see this episode or come across the clip, Skrills, you remember the video that went viral with Street Fighter?
Yeah.
And it was the Floyd Mayweather
Yeah.
and Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was me.
I'm familiar. That's crazy.
So I'm sure kids are going to be like, oh, wait, he did that? Yes, this is him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the fact...
which that in itself is always cool to not be aware of who did it, and then you finally know who it is.
Right.
And I can only imagine how dope it is to be like, you know, a Mexican kid or a black kid and see be like, oh, he looks like
He looks like me.
Right, right.
and relate in that sense. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's kudos to you, man. That's super dope.
I appreciate that, man.
So, and speaking of, you know, what made you want to have that pivot from being an artist to a coder? Once you realized it was kind of like, okay, this music may not be the move. Like, what was that exact moment for you?
I honestly think it's when I got sick. Like there was a time, this was actually what caused me to create Life After Death Star. Is I got sick. They had found like 3 tumors pressing up against my windpipe. And so I had to get like my throat cut open, and it took me like a year to learn how to like swallow, right? Pause. To, you know, swallow
for
and,
sure.
and all that stuff. And it took time to like, my voice changed from that. Like if you listen to pre-2016 Richie Branson songs and post-2016 Richie Branson, there is a difference.
Right.
And that was a lot of me having to, because it literally was painful for the first, like, I want to say 8 months after that surgery, like even
goodness.
speaking, trying to rap, like there was actual pain there. So for
Seemed
me,
like just being normal.
right.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, during that time when I was sick and I was like, I still need to be relevant, you know what I mean? I can't just put out music at the same clip that I was putting them out before. So I was like, all right, let me start making content. Let me figure content plays out. And I think that's when my content brain started working, where I was like, okay, how could I get engagement from people without there being any music to it? And so there was like a stretch of time where I was going viral every week, yo. I did this.
Facts.
I got hits, yo. I had this
I got hits out here.
Pokemon Go in the hood. I had Squirtle robbing the dude, like Hood Squirtle. Give me all your money. That did 10 million views in a week. I had the Vegeta and Street Fighter. That did 1 million views in a week.
Yeah.
I put Dolomite as the Power Rangers because, you know, Dolomite got all these different outfits. That did 1 million. Like, it was like back-to-back hits.
Yeah.
And I have found like my rhythm in terms of finding ways to manipulate pop culture. And as my boy Question used to say, he used to say like, you're a culture hacker. Like you've learned how to hack pop culture and get engagement from it. I'm like, yeah, that's actually what it is, you know? Culture hacking. So that actually came from me being sick and like really unable to rap. So I was like, all right, let me, you know, again, let me just find something to do, you know, to keep the relevance. And so all of the stuff that's happened since has been directly attributed to me being sick and unable to rap and having to find something else to do. And so during that time as well, I was doing some composing for a game called Marvel Heroes. Shout out Mark Risky. He put me on my first video game soundtrack opportunity.
Hard.
And during that process, like I had to use Fmod, which is a component of a game engine that you could use to get audio into video games.
Right.
So at that point now I'm like, oh, I see how things get into video games. I wonder how you make video games, right? So after that, I went on YouTube. Shout out YouTube University.
Come on, man.
No degree. No degree.
Free admission.
Yeah. So
Who says college ain't free, bro?
I went on YouTube, you know what I mean? And shout out V, she used to see it. Like I was on YouTube all the time, like just all night, like just looking up YouTube tutorials and like playing around with learning C#, learning JavaScript. So I ended up learning 3 languages. And I started working in Unity Engine and started making some game prototypes. And what really sold it for me is I made this prototype called Rhyme Quest. And I put the trailer out. It's still on YouTube. That game never came out. Right? But I was so excited. You know, you get excited about something you're doing. You want to like preview it to people. So I dropped the trailer for Rhyme Quest, right? This is my first little gaming project, mind you.
Yeah. I
put the trailer out. I want to say like maybe a month later, I get an email from the vice president of creative at Harmonix Music Systems. Shout out Helen McWilliams. Like, she was an early believer in what I was doing. She was like, yeah, you know, we'd like you to come up and just show you some stuff, you know, and have a few people talk to you and see what you think. Just want to pick your brain. Real casual, right? So I fly up to Boston. Real casual. Like I think I had on a red and black flannel, like the Vans. I'm always going to be in some dirty Vans. So that's just what keeps me grounded. It keeps me grounded. Yeah,
for sure.
No matter what, the dirty Vans is going to be the dirty Vans.
Yeah.
So I'm there. I'm meeting all these people, having these discussions. I have like a schedule. Like you're going to meet this person, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I get through that, and like again, there was no pressure. It was just like a conversation, right?
Yeah.
So I get back to the crib. I think another month comes by and they send me like an employment offer to work as a game designer on this project at Harmonix Music Systems, which to me is iconic because they made Guitar Hero. And I remember being all into that, you know what I mean? So it was like, wow, like to get a game design job off learning on YouTube how to code, making a trailer for a game I never even put out, and just being able to have conversations with people in the industry within, you know, like this was like rags to riches almost, right? So I ended up taking the job. So, you know, I'm in the process of relocating to Boston, and then COVID hit. So thank God, because Boston was cold as fuck. I was like, I don't think I can handle this. Like, because I was up there like January, February.
Oh man, right in the thick of it.
Yeah. And it was cold, Like it was like my ear, like I never felt my ears go numb before until I survived the Boston winter. And then COVID hit, obviously. Right. And they shut the whole city down. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna catch a flight home before this gets crazy. Thankfully I did. I flew back to Texas. And I remember being like, it was only 2 people on the plane.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like, the planes, 2 people on the flight, made it back and just posted up in Texas as COVID went on. And then, so like I said, now I'm a game designer. I have a job as a game designer off of this self-taught stuff, right?
Wow.
So then Harmonix gets bought out by Epic Games. That happens, and it's like, okay, what are we going to do with all these employees? So they kind of figured out what they were going to do with all the employees at Harmonix, and they're like, Fortnite. And I was like, so now,
I don't think listen, the biggest game
in the world,
the world.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You are a part of that.
Yes. If you play Fortnite right now, look at the credits. Wait as long as it takes to get to them R's. Wait, it's gonna take some time now because R is you got a whole bunch of A's, B's. Yeah. But when you get to the R's, you will see Richie Branson. Yeah. And right under Richie Branson, you'll see my boy Rick Cody. We was working together. That's my coworker. That's my dog, Rick Cody. Yeah. You're gonna see Richie and Rick in the credits on Fortnite.
That's hard.
Yeah. So end up moving over to Fortnite. And with COVID going on, I got to do that remote, that COVID like work from home era, I was
People
all
say
over.
it was a time, man.
I was all over. I'll be in Africa on a balcony checking in code to Fortnite, looking at Westlands, Kenya type shit. Like it was a vibe, man.
Yeah.
And, Epic pays so that's when I was like, okay, it's
This
money.
is life right here.
Yeah, so I was balling out, man. I had bought a Nissan GTR, which is my dream car. Bought an Evo, bought a ST. Like, I had all this stuff, man. Like,
I remember your JDM phase. I was like, oh yeah, nah. I was like, this man went from the Maserati, which that's a side note. I low key think he stunted on me, low key. I was like, we'll talk about that in a few. But I was like, oh, he did that.
Oh man,
I was like, he set the bar, bet. Then after that, then I saw him to go to the JDM phase, and I was like, he got the GT. Oh, is that the Evo too? Oh, nah, he really going crazy right now.
My love for Japanese cars is like, it's funny because when I got the GTR, it was like, my boy was like, why didn't you get like a, and I'm like, nah, I want this. Because when I got the Maserati, honestly, that was performative. It was more for everybody to like, look at me, I got a Maserati. Hey, that's kind of like the first thing you do.
For sure,
when you get a little bread.
You get some paper in your pocket.
Yeah, you're gonna do all the things, and it's cyclical because now I'm doing that now, but it's different. It's more planned and more strategic.
For sure.
Because cars are very depreciating, man.
Oh man,
I drove that Maserati off the lot, and I remember when I sold it for like a fourth of the price I paid.
What?
And that was like years later. So Maserati, as far as depreciation goes, worst decision you could ever make.
Sheesh.
That thing was, but it was nice. It was cool.
It looked nice.
Yeah. And it attracted a certain attention. And it's funny because when I got the GTR, which by and far was a better car to me, like the attention that attracts is not the same. Ain't no like women coming up to you like, oh my gosh, you got a
dudes,
GTR. It's dudes. You gonna have male groupies. I had to do follow me to my crib. That's when I had to get a gun, yo. I was like, okay. He followed me to my crib on a motorcycle just to be like, oh, that's a nice car. I was waiting for you to stop. I just wouldn't. I'm like, bro,
you're tripping. First off,
so that put like let me get armed,
and
let me start moving a little more strategic, like a tactical operative, yo. I had to,
that's crazy.
I really had to start being like James Bond, bro. Like, okay.
Start looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, this car has been tailing me and then I'd start making like turns just for the fuck of it,
right?
Like, all right, I'm gonna turn here, and he's like, I'm going too, and I'm like, why are you? Okay,
why?
Right, you clearly.
I just want to tell you had a nice car, bro. What?
So the JDM phase was special though. But all that time, like I'm at Epic, traveling the world, making paper. You know what I'm saying? Like the dream, the life was literally that was a dream for me, dog. And it's like that showed me that tech you could literally live the rapper life through tech. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, because my God.
Yeah.
And again, like it showed me that for me especially, because like I said, I didn't do this. Like, I didn't go to school for it. Like, this is something that I just discovered, learned off YouTube, and just made some very well-branded and strategic moves that anybody could have did what I did, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the message I want to have is like, yo, if you watching this right now, like, you could do this. Like, you could do this.
Yeah.
You could do exactly what I did. It doesn't take anything. It just takes belief. Like, at the end of the day, like, for me, and my experience at Fortnite, it was dope. Did that for a few years. Then life changed. I ended up leaving Fortnite. I think I just got burnt out. Like the industry at that level, like when you're working on the biggest game in the world,
right?
And especially if you don't really have anybody that you could identify with, like around you, like you start to feel alone. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, I'm on this huge machine, right? This just incredible. Fortnite, man. Like it's 22 million monthly players.
Come on,
you know what I mean? And
yeah.
at the time, I don't know how many. It's probably more now. But I got a chance to work on some of the features. Like when this was right around the time when they were bringing like Goku into Fortnite,
right?
Bringing in all these anime crossovers, bringing in I think they did Star Wars, and you're starting to see like this attempt to sort of mesh pop culture with gaming, through that. And so I'm paying attention, like I'm at the ground floor of that and seeing how crazy these collabs are going. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's really cool. You know what I mean? So eventually, you know, I worked on a part of the festival mode, which was sort of our system for bringing artists into the game.
Like the Travis
Yeah,
Scotts.
so you're seeing Playboy Cardi and all these
Right.
people in the game now. So I was at the ground floor of that. So when I left Fortnite, you know, I left, said, all right, I need to fix my life, fix my mind. So I went to Morocco, and that was like my sabbatical, right? I was like, I'm just gonna go to Morocco. I don't know the language. They got some good ass food, but I could be alone, you
For
know,
sure, yeah.
and really just think.
Have your mental reset a little bit.
So I'm out there. I get food poisoning. I ate some street food in the Medina in Rabat, Morocco. Shout out Rabat, Morocco, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. The most beautiful city, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, Rabat, the capital city of Morocco.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I'm in Rabat, Morocco on an Airbnb overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, right? And it's just
Nice.
beautiful view. It's like Cali. Like Rabat is like San Francisco mixed with some coastal California shit. It's like just real coastal vibes, right? So I got sick. I had ate some food that wasn't good. So then I got sick. So I'm in the B&B just posted up.
Yeah.
And then I remember the Not Like Us video drop. And I saw the scene when he was hitting the owl with the piñata and it was that blue background. And I was like, that would actually make a dope game. Like
Yeah.
that visual, like it was such a strong visual identity. I was like, that would be a dope video game.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'll make it. You know, I ain't got shit else to do. You know, I'm suffering, so let me just make that. So I started, you know, working on it. And I am, you know, again, I came from Fortnite where like the speed at which you have to be on it
Right.
it's unhuman like, right? So I took that robotic nature in terms of like, I will obsess over this until it gets done. And I started working on it. And within a few days, I had like a working prototype. I actually used that time to learn a new language and a new engine. So it was like kind of
Sheesh.
accomplishing two birds with one stone. So I finished the game.
Yep, there you go right there.
Yeah, there it is. Da, 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 da.
Mind you, my son was just playing this right before y'all got here.
Oh, word?
Yeah, he got to like 6
Hey.
before he was like, "Gah!"
Yeah, that's crazy. This just brings back memories seeing that.
Yeah,
So, you know, I'm working on this game. I get it done, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna put this out. I thought about I really was like wavering, like, you know, is it gonna be well received? Like, what are people gonna think? And I asked myself this question, and now I always ask myself this question every time I ever feel shaky, right? I said, what if it all works out? You know, because at this time, like everything was different in my life. Like I was suffering. Like,
Yeah.
well, I was just dealing with a lot. You know, depression was like the ebb and the flow of depression was heavy on the flow.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was really just trying to ground myself into something. And that was like the project that I took on to try to find purpose again. So I was like, what if it all works out? You know, it could maybe just fail, could bomb. You know, you never want something that you work so hard on to not be seen.
Right, sure.
But you got to ask yourself, what if it works out?
Exactly.
So I dropped it. And we talk about all the times I went viral. And I have like a timeline. Like I know how long it takes for things to like blow.
Yeah.
So when I dropped Life After Death Star, it took maybe 4 days before it ended up like on mainstream publications like Billboard, whatever.
Right.
This was on Billboard like in 6 hours.
Wow.
So it got on Billboard. It was on, it just blew up on Twitter. Like it just went. It was on Kotaku within like the first hour. And I'm like, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
This one's different. I done did this so many times, but this one
this is different.
is different.
Yeah.
So with, I think 12 hours after I released the game, check my email. My email was booming, obviously.
Right.
But I see Christopher Cruz from Rolling Stone wants to do an exclusive interview.
Whoa.
Now listen, I am a musician by trade. Right? I've been
Right.
a musician all my life, damn near. And a Rolling Stone interview for a musician is like, oh my gosh, you know,
Right.
Mama, I'm on Rolling Stone.
Right, the cream of the crop.
Right, yeah. So it was very humbling and eye-opening to know that like my first interview with Rolling Stone had nothing to do with my music. Nothing. And everything to do with this crazy thing that I looked up on YouTube how to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was special to me. So, you know, they ran the interview and then I was like, yeah, Rolling Stone Richie, let's go. You know what I mean?
All right, for sure.
And after that, I started thinking, I was like, somebody's gonna make a Drake game. And I like Drake. I listen to Drake a lot.
For sure,
Like,
yeah.
It's funny because people were like, man, and I even said in the interview, I was like, it wasn't really nothing personal on Drake. Like, I just thought that part would make a good game.
Yeah,
You know,
that's it, yeah.
I'm neutral, you know what I mean? But I was like, some Drake fans are going to make a game. And I'm like, I'm a Drake fan. Let me make a Drake game too.
Why not double back and
so
let me do it?
I
Yeah.
double back on the Drake game, made that, dropped that a week after the Not Like Us game, right?
Right.
1 day later, it's on Billboard. It's on everything. I was like, yo, I really doubled it up. Yo, and that goes back to that hacking, right? 'Cause I was like, okay, I can't tell them I made that.
Right.
So I was like, yo, I'm going to make up a secret identity. I put in a secret code. If you play the Family Matters game, if you play that game and you type in Shift MB when you're on the title screen,
Yeah.
a secret message is going to pop up that says, designed by Richie Branson 2.
That's hard.
Yeah, so...
That's hard.
Nobody knew that until like later. Some Toronto Star reporter reached out like, yeah, we know you did both. And I was like, you want to sit down for an interview before we, explain yourself? I was
Right.
like, okay. So I did an interview with the Toronto Star, basically, but luckily it kind of stayed low key.
Yeah.
So, cause I was like, I don't want everybody to know that, but yeah, I made both games. And both did like 2 million players in the first like week they came out.
Yeah.
So I think cumulatively both of those games probably because right now Fan Arcade total, I think across all of our business in terms of the games we've made, we're like closing in on 7 million players plus. And I think 4 million of those have come from those two games.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing numbers.
Yeah, so
Sheesh.
after I made that, yeah, go ahead and try it. You'll see. Type in Shift MB. Yeah. Yes!
Design with Secrecy by Richie Branson. Hard.
That's hard.
That's the first time that code has ever been like publicly acknowledged.
That's crazy.
Only here, people. Come on.
Yeah, that's a secret code. So
I got a quick question on this, man, because in doing research, this was part of us finding it, right? But how much of what you did during that Kendrick Drake beef was a calculated business move for like Fan Arcade versus just you wanted to see if you can control narrative?
Right.
I like that question. So, and it's funny. Okay, one of my biggest talents is playing stupid and playing aloof, right? I'm very good at just like looking like I'm just accidentally just fumbling into things and oh, look at that. Oh, that's cool. And not actually having any intention behind it. All of this was by design. From the moment I dropped Not Like Us and saw what was going on, I knew where this was going to go.
Right.
I just needed to take my time and observe and see, okay, this is how this works. This is how this works. Okay. Then everything came together to what Fan Arcade is. But from the moment I dropped, because people, there was people that, would, what are you doing with this? Like, why aren't you making any money off of this? And I'm like,
Little do you know.
right. The whole idea was to make money, but this was there were steps that I had to go through. There was a method to all of the madness. It's like, okay, let me show that games can utilize artists and brand IP to create engagement.
Right.
Let me repeat it. So the experiment is not just a fluke. It's like, this is a repeatable thing, right? Let me do enough of that. And then I start this agency up that specializes in that. You know what I mean? And I have the track record now. I have the resume. But people were like, why aren't you thinking about monetizing? I was like, no, that was not the time.
Right.
Every
move is strategic.
a majority of the business that we've gotten, by and large at Fan Arcade, is a result of the Not Like Us game and mostly the Not Like Us game.
Right.
We had a big client last year that came, like huge. I can't even say who it is, but one of the biggest sports brands in the world came to us because one of their dudes had saw the Not Like Us game and said, we want to have this thing be created, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, bet, And all of that revenue, which was a substantial amount from that one product, was a direct result of them seeing the Not Like Us game.
Yeah.
So we have people that still reach out because they saw that at a major media company who I'm under NDA, so I can't speak about it. But
Why not? I'm joking.
But they reached out about, getting some work as well. And it's like, oh yeah, we're fans. We saw the Not Like Us game. It's like,
I mean, that being said, like, it's just, again, what you just said earlier about what if it all works out, man. That's no truer than that, right? Because what you did was ultimately strategic, and it all worked out, man.
Yeah,
right.
But like I said, there was a lot of people that were wondering, like, is he just being foolish and like not caring about his paper? And this is very important. I was always caring about the paper. I always had the plan, But again, it's like I'm very selective on who I show that side of me to, because you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? People will take advantage of you if they know every card in your deck.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I play my poker face when it comes to like being completely unaware and people thinking, I know everything. I'm thinking of everything. I am a chess player by nature. You know what I'm saying? Very good at chess and study chess. I have a whole bunch of opening sets. So the way I move through life is very similar. Like on the exterior, it's like, okay, he just kind of just does whatever. But there's always every single thing that you see me do, there's a reason. You know what I mean? And so Fan Arcade literally is the result of all of those steps that I took. So going back to it, so I dropped the Not Like Us, I dropped the Family Matters. I stayed over in Africa for another few months until I felt like I was ready to go home. I come home and I did a game for Lil Uzi Vert. He dropped Eternal Ataki 2. This was 2024?
Right.
And so that was just another like, okay, yep. And it shit looked good. It was dope. Then go into 2025 and I was like, okay, now it's time to like really circle down on what this is from a business perspective. And so had a lot of people, a lot of interactions that in terms of like, now I'm thinking, okay, what is this going to look like? How am I going to land this idea and all of the things that I want to happen? How am I going to set it down into something concrete? Right.
Right.
So, I took time, like I said, for me, any person that I engage with, it's all me. Like I said, I'm always feeling everything out. I'm like, okay, where's the best place for me? And so I took time to figure that out. And Fan Arcade was born. I came up with the name. And me, once I realized that, for the longest time, even with Fan Arcade, when I was starting it, I was like, I don't want to run it. I didn't want to be the guy. I didn't want to be the front man, as I say, right?
Yeah.
I was like, my business partners, Kenford and Anthony, shout out Kenford Peli, Anthony Brown. When we were initially starting this up, they came in with me and I was like, guys, I really don't want to be in front. I just want to sit back. And they were so wise in what they told me because they were like, bro, only you could communicate this dream effectively, bro. Like only you could, you have to be the front because this is your dream. Like this is what you obsess over. We can't really be like that. We're great business people, but like as far as where the passion is going to come from, as far as where the true belief is going to come from, that's you.
That's actually really great advice because because this was your passion project. Right. This is something that you created. That's something that you have given life to. Pretty much created the legs that have gone forward. Why not you to stay behind the wheel? You know what I mean?
So at that moment, I realized like all my life I wanted to be maybe number 2 or maybe number 3 or like somebody else's secret weapon that just makes shit go. Right. That was my whole life. Like I'd never been an executive ever. I'd always wanted to be, just a really cold hitman that you could call on to get some stuff done. Right.
Right.
So this was my first time. I never. I thought I wanted to be a C-suite executive of some sort, but I did not know it was going to be CEO of my own shit.
Look
right?
at that.
So, at that point now it's like, okay. And it was kind of crazy to do that. I was like, okay, I'm a CEO now. I didn't want to be, but I got to be. I understand.
So going back to something you said about, you were kind of going through it, depression and mental health struggles. Do you feel like you finding your own thing helped that, or did it kind of
definitely sword? I will say this, as a man especially, the worst feeling that you'll ever have as a man is not knowing what your purpose is. And there are times as men where we'll think we have it, we'll have life situated a certain way where we feel, oh, this is my purpose. And if that ever doesn't if that no longer becomes the case suddenly, right? And you're like, well, I thought that was my mission. You know what I mean? And when the circumstances change, and as a man, if you're not ready for that, it will break you.
Right. Nah, for
so,
real.
you know, when you go through that period of having everything, like everything is right. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this wasn't the plan. Then it's important. Like, and I wish I knew this earlier. Like, I went through a very self-destructive phase, like reacting to this lack of purpose, right? So instead of like looking for purpose and like actually like, you know, doing whatever I could to strengthen myself to find it, I ran from it. I was like, the feeling of not having purpose, I was running from it. I was all over the world, just running around, just like trying to avoid the soul-crushing feeling of not knowing what to do.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why Fan Arcade is so important. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and I said, this is the last thing I'll ever do. When I think about what the future looks like 20 years from now, Fan Arcade. When I look at like the legacy that goes down to like my kids, grandkids, etc., Fan Arcade. You know what I mean? One of the coolest things that I saw, and this is deep, when I went to go get my grill, I went to Mobile Go Grills. Shout out Pearl. Shout out Dante. Shout out the crew over there. But when I first went, the owner wasn't there. His son was there. And his son was like, you know, I was talking to his son about that, and he was working the thing. He was like, hold on, let me call my dad. You know, he's like, Dad, yeah, he's, you know, asking about this, da, da, da.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is your father's business and you work here. And I thought that was so dope, bro. Like, that is like the most beautiful thing, especially us, right?
Right,
Black
for
people.
sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to have a business that your son could follow in and learn from.
Exactly.
And whether he wants to do it or not, he just has a place where he could go to make paper that you built.
Exactly.
That's legacy, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
that is the greatest legacy you could ever leave. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, man, that's beautiful. It doesn't matter if it's some huge conglomerate or whether it's just one shop. If you have a place for your kids to go and make some money.
Right. Because it's teaching them the business practice.
Right.
And the fact that it helps because your pops is the boss, the CEO,
Right.
you know what I mean? And he's teaching you and you're learning the business all at the same time while putting some legit money in your pocket.
Right. So the family business concept, I think, for especially us, is what we have to think more about. Like, how can we build that? Because, you know, other people have figured it out. Like, okay, you turn 16, you're going to go work at Pop Shop, or you're going to go do this or do that. Like, but we still haven't. That's the real secret of like generational wealth, is it's like, not necessarily, oh, here's some money, son, you can inherit this money. It's you could inherit this money-making thing. You know, you can inherit this business. And so that's like, especially as a CEO, like I said, I was never a business person until now, right? Like, never. And I remember people used to tell me like, I don't know, man, you're just a little too creative and in la la land.
Right.
But when I had to snap into business mode, like, yo, it got lit. So now, you know, I'm in a space where I have to think not just creatively, but strategically, financially. I have to make a lot of decisions for the sake of the company and to keep it afloat and to build it. And I have to think, okay, is this viable? You know, is this something that will lead to more revenue? Are we wasting our time with this? And now we have a team of designers. We have a whole team of like really dope designers, and they're all look like us. You know what I mean? Came from the same spaces. And that's beautiful. Like, this is, like I said, what I'm trying to build is literally a beacon for us to look at and be like, okay, yeah, you could pop your shit if you in tech too.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's a perception. Like, it's funny, when I was at All Star, because we did a game with the NBA. They had a merch line that came out, so we worked on a game that was on the floor at All Star. Also did this activation with my boy, shout out Eric Medina. He runs Nerds Clothing.
Yeah.
So he did a collaboration with NBA and Street Fighter. And so we put together the video and did like some branding stuff for it, pulled up and was at the booth. And like, yo, that experience alone, just being an All-Star and seeing that, like, again, people were asking me like, because I was in the booth, they like, you here to rap? Like, you a rapper or something? You performing? Because they had like a concert going on too.
Right.
And I was like, no, I make video games. And I remember one brother, shout out to this dude. He was like, he looked at me, and this was right when I got the chain too. He was like, you don't look like that kind of person.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the goal.
Exactly.
That's the goal. You know what I mean? Because there is a perception of when you think of black people in tech, you think of like, again, it's just a perception.
The collar shirt tucked in,
collar
slacks,
shirt tucked in and just really proper and like,
Yeah.
So I was like, I wanted to represent the antithesis of that, right? Like I wanted to be like, no, we want to run this shit like it's a record label. Like, this CEO got diamonds and Rolex and all that. Like there's a method to it. It's funny because I was telling people like, this isn't about me popping shit for the sake of, I've already done that. Like I've been through that phase. Now it's very strategic. Like the first chain I ever got was my company logo, which is crazy. You know what I mean? But it's like, to me, again, this is symbolizing to the world, like, okay, yeah, the branding, like they're cool. Like, you know what I mean?
Nah,
and
for sure.
There's already people reaching out just for that part of it, the cultural authenticity. Like, okay, those dudes actually are in the culture. Like, and so our goal, again, when we talk about Fan Arcade and the success it's had, like we launched the company formally July 15th of 2025, right? That was when we first launched it. Since then, we started with Pinky Doll. Shout out Pinky Doll, the NPC girl. She's dope. We did Glorilla, we did Playboy Cardi, we did Chance the Rapper, we did Summer Walker, we did Tia Corinne. We just did Nav and Young Thug.
Yeah.
We did the NBA. And there's so many more. Like, did I say Chance the Rapper already?
You did say Chance.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay.
There it is. There's a list. Ira Star. Shout out Ira Star. That was cool because I made that game while I was in Africa. Ira Star is an Afrobeats artist.
Right.
So I got to actually be in the Afrobeats sort of like world while I worked on that. And that was really cool. Shout out Ira Star, though.
That's dope.
Real dope.
It's dope that you got a catalog here, a gallery of the games that you could play.
Yeah, and that's not even all of them. That's like, there's still a few missing from that, but for the most part, that's like a good representation of like what we've done.
And what you can do for, say, whether it's an artist or whether it's, companies that y'all can set up for.
Yeah, so we just dropped this meme generator for Nav's album. Nav's going crazy. Like, if you look at Nav's profile right now, his profile photo on Instagram, he used our meme generator to make it. And so, like, he's posting all, like, if you look at his stories, it's all, like, pictures of people using the meme generator, and it's so good. Like, it's so good. It basically gives you, like, a Trimsky grill. Like, you see his photo? Yeah. So if you look through his stories, like, you'll see nothing but, like, pictures of people who have used the meme generator. A lot of baddies.
That's wild. I've been
seeing this too,
bro. What's his name? Paperboy had Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves with the
That's crazy.
So that's you too.
Yeah. So we created that.
Wow.
We have a game that's coming out. So this is like the first phase, and then the second phase we have a game coming out. Nab's gonna love it because he likes bowling.
Okay.
So we're creating like a really fly like bowling game. That'll be released soon. Can't say the date.
Yeah.
But it'll be coinciding with something else going on with the single.
Yeah.
Shout out Universal though. Universal Music Group is just amazing. We've done a lot with them, and they're just really dope. They see it, and I think for Fan Arcade, like our mission, especially this year, we just like the meme generator for me was dope because it's not a game, but it's still an interactive engagement tool.
Right. Exactly.
And I think looking at the data right now, it's performing very well. Like, I was actually surprised at how well it's performing. I was like, oh, all right. So, this is kind of a new product type for us, but like, I could see that, the interactivity, not necessarily always being a game, because not everything has to be a game, right?
Right.
But there are gamified elements. When we say gamified, we just mean there are things that just rewards you, that reward loop that you feel, that's gamification. So if you're a frequent flyer mile person, that's a game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're collecting points and unlocking new levels. You know what I mean?
So this kind of goes into a question that I had that I meant to ask you, researching all this, was like, how do you decide, if you can tell, but how do you decide like which specific elements are gamifiable? You know what I'm saying? Well, enough to build a project for.
Right. So it requires a lot of what I call brand empathy. You know what I mean? So you have to sort of look at a brand from the lens of the consumer. A lot of brands, they struggle with that. Like, they're looking at it from, this is our brand. We think this is dope. That doesn't mean that the people do. So you have to kind of look at things from a consumer basis and say, all right, so what are sort of the key points of this brand that could best be represented in a gamified way?
Right.
So if you look at, for example, the Summer Walker game, which was like an amazing case study. That game obviously was a part of her rollout for Still Not Over It. Yeah. Which was an amazing album. That rollout was crazy. Though, right? Yeah. So during that process,
My bad.
no, finally over it. Finally over it. Yeah. Let me get that right. But when we were looking at that, it was like, okay, the album, Summer Walker's kind of mantra is like, finally over it was representing her finally saying like, nah, not the whack dudes. I ain't looking for that. I'm looking for stability in this way.
Right.
So we decided to make a game. We called it No Whack Man. Like, it's funny because they actually came with the Pac-Man idea. They were like, we want it to feel like Pac-Man. And I was like, No Whack Man. And she would be running away from like toxic archetypes of dudes, like, the avoidant, and she would have to collect all of the little points, and then she gets married to the right guy, right?
Yeah.
The right guy. So, yeah, there it is right there. Yeah, No Whack Man. So you got to run from all of the dudes, the scammers, the hustlers, all of them. They all represented.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would have kept playing, but you two be on
Nah, yeah, I get you. So, we made that, and we sort of took all of these elements in and said, okay, if the theme is stay away from whack dudes, No Whack Man represents the perfect gamified version of that.
Right.
And we dropped it and it went crazy. Like, people loved that. And that's sort of like, and this is the most important part that I tell people about any of this, is it's the cultural authenticity that's important. Because if you hired a development firm who knows nothing about nothing that has to do with Summer Walker's brand and what she represents, they're not cooking that.
Come on.
They're not going to be able to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, you got to have the scammer and they're not going to be thinking on that level. And so for us and what Fan Arcade represents, and this is, man, I say this all the time, is we represent a reliable way for you to get, again, technically sound products. Like, we could build the tech, but we are going to maintain the cultural authenticity of the brand that you represent. So you're not losing that. And there's no having to explain things to us like we are hip. We hip.
Y'all get it.
Yeah, and so that makes the development process easier. It makes things.
Do you find pushback in the more corporate side of things where they might have a bigger machine as opposed to your understanding?
That's a really good question.
I think if you get into like huge, I won't say names, but there are some big companies,
it's like some AAA studios
that we've worked with. Are you asking like as far as like partnering with brands or like?
No, just you. Like, I don't know how it works, but like if there's a bidding thing or if there's ever trying to get the client, right?
Oh, okay. So fortunately for us, we've never like had to like outreach yet. Like, all of our business has been inbound. Like,
that's
I'll wake up with an email that says, "Hey, we want to throw you money to do this." Like,
that's dope.
It's a blessing, But I think it speaks to sort of the, like I said, our sort of positioning as being like those people that can get the shit done and it looks good,
right?
It feels good, right? But there is a moment now where we are trying to do some outreach into industries that aren't necessarily where we began.
Sure.
Because right now we focus more on like the entertainment, sports, like a lot of entertainment, brands are approaching us for work. But now we're looking at like healthcare, education. Like, we've built tools. Shout out. It's funny, like we'll talk about this in a bit, but as we're building these tools and we're thinking beyond just like gamifying entertainment, and it's like, how could we make kids more engaged when they're learning?
Yeah,
right.
How could we make cancer patients like get through their chemo like without being bored and maybe they learn something? How can we make this sort of like, how can we teach people how to make better investments in a gamified way? So when you think about it like that, and what we're trying to build now in the industries that we are starting to get into, now we're looking at things from a space of, okay, there's a game in everything.
Right.
And we're going to find it, unlock it, and turn it into a product that could be scaled. And if we get a few, and I think we're there, we've got a few things that are in the works that we've built products for particular industries that could be scaled and replicated throughout the industry.
Right.
And that's going to put us in a position where we become sort of like the oracle of gamification, you know,
right,
and culture. Because at the end of the day, like, and I say this a lot, like what we're making, we are literally making playable culture. Like we are taking culture, making it playable, making it entertaining. And I think that's what, again, when we talk about like the companies out there and who our competition is, I don't think we have any, you know, because we make playable culture, we make it quickly, we make the barrier to entry low to where you don't have to run home and get on PS5 and download this game or this app. So I think we put ourselves in such a really nice position that we can just make everything with love. All of our products, you know, we could really put our all into it, but also expand our palette. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of things that come out that you'll see over this year. They'll be like, damn, the boys...
I mean, cooking over there.
Bro, I mean, I'm getting the impression, man, that you all are, if not already, definitely cracked the code in the sense of like, to put it in a layman's terms, like making the medicine taste good.
Yeah, there you go. It's funny because I always say that. When you're taking a painkiller, it's not like they're just giving you powdered acetaminophen, right? It's like they have to put it in a capsule or they have to put it in this. Like the delivery of it matters more than the substance itself. How is it delivered? You know what I mean? Is it the flavor capsule, you know, or like just how we give kids medicine?
The
that shit gotta taste good.
You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
Flintstones vitamins. I used to be strong as fuck when I was a kid because
the immune system was high. You know what I mean?
I was popping them Flintstone vitamins like they was candy. I was like, I ain't just gonna take 2. This shit tastes good. Let me get like 5 of them. You know
exactly, for sure.
So I say all that to say, like, yeah, like you're right. It's we have cracked the code in being able to package the engagement factor and the very root of gaming, which is a cognitive reward and effort loop. We packaged it in a way that's very attractive, and we're good at that, and we could do it quickly. Yeah, and I think that plays to our strength. You know what I mean?
Man, no, I couldn't have said it better myself. The one thing I did want to ask was kind of going back to when, you know, we're having your time at Epic Games. You know, like you said, you were burnt out, but now you being the CEO at Fan Arcade. Right. How is your mental health these days compared to from being a CEO versus working at, you know, Epic Games? Yes, the money's there, but also you got money and future more opportunities coming in with Fan Arcade. Right. So,
and like you said, purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would say that it's a twofold sort of thing, right? Like when I was at Epic Games, like I was very comfortable, right? And that's the price that they pay to keep you from pursuing whatever it is that you want. Right. That's all it is. It's like, how much can we pay you to keep you away from your dream? And they gave me enough to keep me away from mine. You know what I mean? So I was, while I'm going through this and I'm really just in my bag, or what I thought was my bag, it became unfulfilling. Because the one thing about when you're working as an employee, you always feel, and depending on how long you've worked there and all the dynamics, you're going to get to a point where you're like, God, why I got to go in today? Why I got to listen? Why is so-and-so breathing down my neck? Damn. Like, you know what I mean? And that's a result of the fact that what you are doing, what you're building is not yours. You know what I mean? Right. So the work is always going to feel like work. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Yeah. Even if it's fun, no matter how fun it is, it at some point is going to feel like work because it's not yours, you know? So that was that. You know, my mental health there was, the descent was happening. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm starting to, you get the burnout, and then you're like, man, I don't have purpose. And the reason that I think also that leads to is because you know that your destiny depends on somebody else's yes. Somebody else is signing your paycheck. You know what I'm saying? As long as somebody else is signing your paycheck, your destiny is in their hands. Right. Your livelihood depends on their showing you favor. You know what I mean? Right. So when you look at it like that, and it's like, even if they're paying you well, bro, you're always thinking like, dang, what if I get laid off? Right. You know what I mean? I might get laid off. And that decision is made by somebody who just puts an X next to your name. And all of a sudden your whole life changes because somebody said nope. So knowing that that was the case for me. Like, okay, I'm doing well, but at any point, somebody who knows nothing about me can see my name on a piece of paper and put an X next to it, and my whole life changes as a result.
Right.
I lose everything, right? So that's a very terrifying feeling.
For sure.
Especially if you're making like money, and it's like, all right, you're flying higher now. And you know,
And you
the
grow
higher the
accustomed.
altitude,
You grow accustomed to a certain lifestyle, right?
And then you look down and it's like, that is a far fall. Oof. And I made that fall, yo. That was a hard fall, bro, to go from that. Because when I left, like, you know, I really didn't have a plan. I just knew I didn't want to do this, you know? And as a result, like, I went through a year of not doing anything to make money. I was spending money for a whole year, spending. I spent so much money, like, but I had to go through that. I had to lose everything, bro. And it was by design. I had to put the sword to my chest and say, all right, it's time to die and rise again, right? So it was definitely a self-inflicted loss, you know, and I didn't have to do that. I could have stayed and just maintained, but I knew that the longer I waited to just make some drastic change, the worse it would have been. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it now. And again, like that first year that I was unemployed, I sat in my crib every day and did nothing. I just played video games and just did nothing. Yeah. Just literally wasted away, man. And then I'd travel, you know, just to get away and not have to be depressed. But it was bad. It was bad. I'll say this. It is better to be broke and happy than rich and sad. If you have money and you're sad, whew, that's the worst combination, bro.
Dang.
If you have money and you're sad, trust me, it is the worst combination. There's a reason you see so many people with money committing suicide. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually what you do is you are going to buy and you are going to entertain yourself and do everything you can to slap a Band-Aid on the sadness. And the more money you have, the bigger the Band-Aid. You can get some really nice Band-Aids when you got bread. You know, but once that stops working and the bleeding continues,
it's like, then what?
Then it's like, okay, I can't buy my way out of this. Right. I can't spend my way out of this. I can't do drugs to get out of this. I can't do anything. Nothing is working. That's when you end it. Damn. You know? And so if you are sad, I've been broken sad. I've been broke and had paper. I've been rich. I mean, I've been sad and had paper. And it's like, I'd rather be broken sad. Because at least if you broken sad, you are at rock bottom to the point where you could only go up.
Exactly.
But if you got money and you're sad, you have a fall. You have a fall. So for me, after going through that and building myself up, now my mental health, like I am completely overwhelmed. Like, I'm busy, yo. And like there are people who are close to me, you know, who see it, you know, and it's sometimes I feel bad about it. I really, you know, I had to sacrifice a lot to even be here. You know, there was a lot of relationships and a lot of things that it wasn't even that I didn't like the person. And there have been people that I've loved that, you know, I've had to be like, okay, I have to do this right now. You know what I mean? And that's the hardest thing because, you know, this is a lonely road for me. This is the loneliest road for me because I don't have time. And I'm a very I'm a people person. I like to have time for my people.
For sure.
But to not be available to my people, that hurts. But I've so fixated and so obsessed with building this thing. And this is the last thing I'm going to build. There is no try again for me. You know? So I have to treat this, you know, it's all or nothing with this. You know what I mean? And so, you know, there are a lot of people who are probably looking at me and be like, yo, he's a villain for just moving over here. And I get that. I have to take that. That's the price I got to pay, you know, because Fan Arcade wouldn't be this if not for that, you know, because I've learned that I can be in situations where I care more about other people than my own purpose.
Sure.
And it's like I can align with somebody else's purpose in a way where I don't even think about what I need to be doing on my side. So it's almost like in that situation, like that becomes a liability, even though it's not fair. It's not. Right. You can't look at people like liabilities who love you. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have purpose, you can never be what they need. You know, you could have me now and I ain't got no purpose, and shit'll be sweet until one day I crash out because I've never had purpose this whole time. So rather than be a broken tool for you or to the people that I need to be available to, let me be whole. Let me build this thing because this is what I need to be whole. I need this.
Yeah.
And when I have it, it's like, okay, now I'm whole. And you don't have to worry about me flipping out because I don't have purpose. Because that's what happens with men. If you jump into, you get married, you do anything that involves you being available to people and you have not fulfilled your purpose, it's not going to work. You are going to start feeling that in that situation. You're going to be like, man. And you hear stories about people like dudes who like, they get jealous of their wife. And a lot of that's because they don't have that purpose inside them yet. And so they see their wife shining or getting a promotion and shit, and they just like, they start to hate.
Right.
And it's just natural because it's like, if you don't have that squared away with you, then everything around you is going to be a comparison and it's going to be a competition. And you're going to be like, well, why are they so whole and I'm not, you know? And as somebody who's been not whole, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what that's like. So it's like, you know, being able to do this is, like I said, it's cost me everything. Nobody will really know what this really cost for me. Like nobody. Oh, I can tell you the price of this is high. And the price of success and the price of entrepreneurship, I cannot explain to you how high it is. And it's not a financial price. It's a mental price.
Mental price.
You have to be strong. You know what I mean?
Because the sacrifices you have to make,
yeah,
it could definitely be a scary one.
Yeah,
because it's not tangible to money at times.
Right.
A lot of times it's time.
Yeah.
And time is the strongest currency.
Tendernism.
That we had. Time is you talk about the biggest currency is time.
Yes.
And it's the most expensive currency that we have here. And wasting time is probably the most heart-aching thing. Because it's just like, yo, with that time, I could have did this instead. So with that being said, what is it worth it? Or is it too early to ask yet?
No, I wouldn't even say it's too early to ask. I would say that you have to make it worth it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I look back and I've sacrificed a lot of time and progress I think that I could have been making in other areas of life to pursue this. You know what I mean? Friendships, relationships. Like I said, a lot of things that, you know, I've had to, and it's almost like you, especially because I grew up as a people pleaser. Like there was a point in my life where I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now it's like, you know, I can't be a people pleaser. And if you have that empathy, then you understand that you're going to make decisions that are going to hurt people. I've hurt people to get here. I've hurt people to be where I am right now. And that's a stunning admission, right? When you think about it, but there are people that are hurting because I'm so busy.
Right.
You know? And all I could say is that I know that. I think about that every day. You know what I mean? But what makes it worth it, I have to make it worth it. There is no situation where I do all this and it's not going to be what it is. Because I've told people, this is what I'm building. This is what it's going to be. If I don't achieve that, then that would be the biggest failure ever for me. Because it wasn't just me saying I was going to do something and not doing it. But I took time away from a lot of things to pursue this. So for me, I can't even question. It has to be worth it. It has to be worth it. But it is that delusion, because in order to succeed, you have to think like that. There is no other option for me. I can't think, oh man, if this don't work out, at least I could get a job here or do that. There is no job for me.
Nah, not when you've come this far.
Right. So it's like you have to, and the most important ingredient of success is you have to have a delusional sense of self-belief. And I say delusional because we grow up in a world that teaches you not to believe in yourself. They teach you to believe in systems. They teach you, believe in that job, believe in that education, believe in becoming a tax-paying citizen who overpays for health insurance, who overpays in all these different industrial complexes that exist.
Talk to them.
They only work because they keep people thinking inside of a box, you know? They think inside of a box. And it has to be like that. It's by design. You know what I mean? Like and you think about how we're the most comfortable people in the world. That's what I know about America. And I've seen the whole world. We are the most comfortable people for a reason. We are the most entertained for a reason. You know what I mean? Because if we could sit and stay in our box and okay, I'm gonna just keep this job. That's what I've been trained to do. You know, when we went to high school, we was learning how to be employees. And that's just what it is. I learned how to be.
Our classmates were our coworkers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, we learned how to be employees. They don't teach you how to be an entrepreneur in high school. They don't.
Nah, you're right.
They don't. You know what I'm saying?
1000%.
Yeah, so with that said, it's like you have to have that delusional sense of self-belief because that allows you to break free of the indoctrination that society has placed upon us since we were born. You know what I mean? So, you know, everybody's going to tell you they don't see it because they are thinking from the lens that society gave them, which is like, bro, you better off just getting a job, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've been told that. You might want to think about getting a job, bro. Are you sure this going to work? Or what are you doing? Like, you know, and it's like every decision I'm making is so very calculated. You know, everything has a purpose. But again, people cannot see that if they're looking at me from the lens of like, oh, well, he should be like me. He's just like me. No, I am not like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, that's not even a bad thing to say. I'm not like you because I am more delusional than you. I am more delusional to the point where like, I can't be where you are. And that's no offense to where you are. I wish I was.
Yeah.
Honestly, life would be so much happier if I just said, you know what, I'm just going to be an employee and be
just
cool
settle,
with that.
right?
But I couldn't, bro.
Yeah.
And it's caused me so much misery, you know, but all of the suffering and the pain and everything that I've been through to get here, it's worth it, bro.
Yeah.
It's worth it because I'm delusional to make it worth it. And so I tell anybody, if you have a dream, be delusional. Stay delusional, like believe in yourself. Like don't let nobody trick you out of your dream, man. Because we all grow up trained not to dream. So you have to be very careful of the energy that you let in. Like I'm very selective of my energy. And it's not that I hate people. It's not, I'm antisocial, yes. But you know, it's because I have to be this delusional. I can't let anything break me from that. And even if I hear like, you know, what people don't realize about time, we talk about time. When you are building something or you're creative, and you know this because you know you made beats, we can relate to that
for sure.
If I'm making a beat and you come in the door and say, "Hey, I need you to do this right now," it's only going to take you a minute. You're thinking about it from the perspective of 1 minute. I'm only asking for a minute of your time to go up and put these dishes up real quick. But that 1 minute that you spend doing that will get you out of your zone, and you come back and now you're like, what was I doing?
Exactly.
And that could take you hours to get back into that flow state.
Exactly.
So 1 minute to the person who's observing you is really hours to you.
Right.
But they can't see that.
Exactly.
They can't see the flow.
Because
you know what I mean?
that minute is not worth the currency. My time currency is different from the time of what you see on the clock.
And I think that's the biggest thing right now that people don't really understand with me is like, man, you can't just text me back real quick? You can't just do this real quick? And it's like, it's not about the quickness and the conversational. Yes, I know it would take me 1 minute to do that.
Yeah.
But right now I am working on something that has a tight deadline to where if I take a minute away from it and I have to rethink about how to get into it, that could be 6 hours. And then now I'm in trouble.
Exactly.
So it's like that 1 minute extrapolates depending on what state I'm in. So I can't even address that issue until I'm out of my flow state. And right now I got to be in my flow state every day from the time I wake up. So like I said, people won't understand it. And that's the number one reason that most people probably stop at this point is because they start to feel that. Like you feel the loneliness and you feel the unavailability that you have for people and you start to feel bad about it. I do feel very bad about it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I cannot change that right now. I can't because everything, I have a plan. I got to stick to it, you know? Gotta be the Lulu.
Listen, man, I
whole lot of gyms, man.
I got no words, bro. I got no word. You pretty much touched on everything I've been thinking, you know?
Yeah,
for
man.
quite some time now. So
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. But I in all that, I had a question I want to ask. If you kind of touched on this a little bit already, but just more directly, you know, going from like YouTube tutorials to working at Fortnite to oversimplify it, right? But what would you say is like the biggest imposter syndrome hurdle that you had to like clear? You know what I mean?
I'll be asking some questions, man. I deal with imposter syndrome a lot, you know, through the journey, especially honestly, when I started working at Fortnite, there was a huge level of imposter syndrome because I'm working along colleagues who have like game design degrees from MIT and
DeVry and
all this,
yeah.
like, you know, and experience, people who worked on games that I played as when I was a kid. Like, so, you know, and then of course you take into consideration that there wasn't really a lot of people who looked like me.
Right.
So I'd be in a team meeting and it's like, okay, this is just, I don't know if I belong in this room. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And what I realized is it's not about belonging in the room. You know what I mean? And we often think about like, do I belong here? Like, I don't know. Do I belong in this space? And it's like, you can't think about whether you belong in a space. You got to tell yourself this space belongs to you. Woo! This room belongs to me. And people will see that. If people, you could tell who's moving like that. He moves like somebody who thinks this place belongs to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's manifestation. That's self-fulfilling prophecy. You can't think, do I belong here? You got to make the place belong to you.
I like
You know
that.
what I mean? So
I like that.
I struggle with that a lot, imposter syndrome, especially every time I get to a new step.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, like when I went to do the Rolex thing, like I went to the Rolex authorized dealer.
Yeah.
And I almost like felt like, do I belong here? And I've been able to afford a Rolex for a long time, but the reason I never bought one was because I didn't feel I deserved it. You know what I mean? I done bought all kinds of shit, but I never, I bought a GTR, Maserati, all these things, but I never thought I deserved a Rolex because the way that the brand is set up, it's so prestigious and, it's very upper crust kind of thing. And it's like, I didn't feel like I belonged. You know what I'm saying? And so when I went to I finally this year went to the actual store to actually look at them and all that stuff. And just being in there was a second where I'm like, because there was like an old white dude that was in there, real cool dude too, said what's up. But I remember being like, damn, I'm black, tattoos everywhere. Like, what am I doing here? But I had a really good conversation, and that just having that conversation with that guy, shout out Cody, that opened my eyes to the brand itself. And I was like, all right, I put my name down on the list for some of them joints, and then I went and got mine. And then I was like, I felt comfortable, just sitting down and having the conversation, and I was treated with respect. I was like, okay, yeah, I could do that. You know what I mean? And so the imposter syndrome thing for me now is, again, to your point, like making the room belong to me, and I learned that then. I was like, okay, if I could just walk into that room that I felt like for a long time was intimidating for some reason.
Right.
And I was nervous, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's crazy. I've been in so many rooms and situations.
Right.
But I was nervous talking to the damn watch salesman, bro.
Right.
Like, but it just shows you, like, we all have our things that we don't feel we belong in. And sometimes they seem absurd. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people be like, nigga, you bought all these things and you scared to go get a watch? Like, make it make sense, right?
Right.
But we are all individuals who have our own assessment of what we feel we belong to and what we don't.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so the goal is to just make sure that when you feel that you don't belong somewhere, that's when you gotta be even more confident, bro. Like, you gotta really say, like, you know what? I'm gonna make this belong to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bend the world to my will so that I don't feel this feeling that I feel now, And it takes effort. Like, it took me a while to even be able to do stuff like that because growing up, like, I don't necessarily think that I was the most confident person growing up. And now, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like, because now I've experienced so much of life. Like, I've nearly died a few times. Like, I've had so many things happen. Seen the world, seen everything, experienced a lot, heartbreak, happiness, every emotion, to where now it's like I can move in a way where I'm just like, I'm just happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy to be here, dog. Like,
For sure.
Every room I'm in, I'm just happy to be here. Like, I am breathing and seeing and able to experience that. And now it's like, even the painful parts, even the parts where I feel uncomfortable, I'm just grateful that I'm able to feel.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why we can't just feel happy. Like, there's a reason that we were blessed to be able to feel everything from displeasure to pleasure. They go hand in hand. You cannot have pleasure without pain. You don't know what feels good if you don't know what feels not good. You know what I mean? Exactly. You don't have anything to compare it to. There's no happiness without sadness, because what do you know what unhappy is like? You know, if we're always happy 24/7, that would be boring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
True, yeah.
Right.
So,
very true.
You know, when you look at every single form of creativity, pain is an integral part of the process. Music, movies, every form of creative outlet, pain is a required ingredient. And so success is a creative outlet. Whether people want to believe it or not, you create your success.
Yeah.
And so you cannot succeed, you cannot be successful without an L. L is literally a part of successful, right? So, you know, you got to take an L. You got to take that L, man. If you ain't taking that L. So now when I take L's, I don't look at them as just L's. I'm like, there's a lesson. If there is a lesson in that L, it's not an L. It's a lesson.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So you got to look for the lesson in everything. And that's what I do now. So now it's like, no matter what's happening, it's all like, I process things so much differently now than I used to, but it's by design. Like, now I understand how the most important thing you can hack is yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I found my code. You know, I'm like, all right, let me, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, let me shift and be this.
Let me shift and be.
Shift and be, for
But
sure.
what I was going to say earlier is like with the, you know, the Northeast side, right?
Yeah.
Like, and just really the San Antonio to tech pipeline is interesting because Question is heavy in tech now. That's my dog. We talk a lot.
For sure. Yeah,
You
shout
know,
out,
we got
shout out
some
Question.
stuff, we got some stuff we're collaborating on. And then Young Mav.
Yeah.
Young Mav,
what's happening?
Is a super dope developer, dog.
Really?
Super dope.
He's in the development scene now?
Yes. Wow. Yes. We got some projects that we worked on. That dude is fire. He's actually inspiring me in a lot of ways.
Really?
That's wild, you know? So we, you know, obviously we go back, man. We used to rap together and now we're like making apps together, bro. And
that's hard.
It's the most beautiful thing, man. Like
that's what's up.
That makes me so happy, dog. But yeah, he's dope.
That's what's up.
He cooking.
Damn. Scrooge, you got any more questions? Because I do got a game that we was.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I'm good, man. Thank you, man, for all that, man.
It's a lot of gems, man. A lot of gems will drop. But let's get into this game, man, because I know you're a heavy gamer as well, obviously. So let's get into it, man. Do you want to play a game? All right. So lately, I've been on my King of the Hill stuff where you start off with two games, obviously, or whatever it is I'm talking about, but this time it's a video game category. Start off with two games, pick one, winner stays, another challenger comes, and then see if it knocks it off. And then at the end, I have 7 here. So whatever stays on top is, I guess, quote unquote, the GOAT game, if you will.
Got you.
All right, man. So starting off, I have Marvel vs. Capcom or Tekken 3.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs. Capcom, okay. Marvel vs. Capcom versus NBA Street Volume 2.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
2 for 2. Okay, let's heat it up.
Okay.
I'm just jumping to it. Marvel vs. Capcom versus Final Fantasy 7.
What? Yo! Oh my God. Okay.
We heating things up
Final
now.
Fantasy 7 for sure, bro. What? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Okay. I see where you go with this.
All right. Final Fantasy 7, Metal Gear Solid.
Oh my God. That's by a razor thin margin, Final Fantasy 7. Razor thin. Whew.
All right.
Metal Gear Solid was crazy.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
And then the last one, Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil 2.
Damn, Resident Evil 2 is good.
Good.
Was the Racket City Police Station.
Yes,
right?
where Leon Kennedy was introduced and Claire Redfield. Yep.
You know what? Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid. By again another.
Oh wait, did I say Metal Gear Solid? I mean, I'm bad.
No, okay,
Final
wait, okay,
Fantasy
yeah, you're right.
Final
so no,
Fantasy
we're
7
Final Fantasy 7 versus
Resident Evil 2.
Ooh, you know what? I just played the remakes of both of those too.
Yeah, and both remakes were amazing.
Yeah, yo, that's crazy, right?
Yes.
Yo,
the remake era has been top notch these days
here
for sure.
I would have to say honestly, from an impact point of view, though, Final Fantasy VII took a lot of hours from my life. Yo.
Come on,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 was dope.
Yes.
But Final Fantasy, I was breeding chocobos. I was trying to get that gold. I remember when I got the black chocobo, I was like, I can run up mountains. Yo,
the
Final Fantasy, the golden joint though.
Yeah.
Then you get the Omni Slash and the Knights of the Round Summon. When I beat Ruby Weapon and Emerald Weapon for there were so many like moments within Final Fantasy VII, like the end of disc 1, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could spoil it because, like, if you ain't played it by now,
come on now.
Sephiroth, yo, he came down with the sword on the Ares dog. Like, there were so many things. And then the boss battle afterwards with Genova, and they had the stab music playing. Like, there were so many moments in Final Fantasy VII that I will never forget as a gamer.
Right.
I gotta say Final Fantasy VII,
Final Fantasy VII is the goated game.
Oh my
greatest
God.
of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You played if you played Final Fantasy 16?
I have.
Yo, the Bahamut battle.
Yes.
That shit was crazy.
It was crazy because it almost felt the same moment. You know what I mean? Like, because I remember playing Final Fantasy VII as a kid, and my jaw was just dropped like out of a lot of those moments. But the 16, it was kind of almost the same thing. I was like,
when he came up, and it's like, we in space now.
Yeah.
Whoa, my God, the music. Like, all of those things, like, I think that games have a unique ability to, like, appeal to so many different aspects of our creative intake.
Yes.
Yo, this song is fire.
Right.
Damn, them graphics are crazy. The story is dope. Like, games are, like, the culmination of all of our creative skills. You have to have music in the game. You got to have art in the game. You got to have story in the game. Like, and so those moments when you see all of these things is hitting you at the same time and you're in control. Like,
exactly.
That's what makes video games special, man.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
why video games are the highest form of art, dog.
Come on,
like, straight up.
I love it. I love it.
That's a good one.
Anything else, Grills? Or you good, man?
I didn't play any of that shit, bro. I got as far as MK3.
Oh wow, MK3
was that 64? Where they it fucked me up because when you were able to sidestep.
Oh, okay.
That's when I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
like joint
crazy. This is like it's different. You know what I mean? But I wasn't a big gamer, man. I mean, well, Mozzie knows nowadays I'm on this Last of Us shit. That's probably the only one that I really like.
Okay,
because I'm invested in the story.
Yeah,
like,
it's a good narrative. Yeah,
but to your point, you know, the art, the story, the feeling of like. Again, spoiler alert, but if you haven't played this shit, like losing Joe in the second one,
right?
To everything you fucking built on the first one, like it's. Yeah, I definitely sympathize, or not really sympathize, but understand and relate to the impact of games.
Right.
But not like my man Mozzie. My man Mozzie.
Man.
You know.
Yo, I've been a gamer since damn near day one.
Right.
Okay.
It's crazy because I'm still trying to get a artist. If y'all want to reach out to me, let me know if y'all can do this. But I want to get an art piece commissioned of the original Turtles game on the Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
Remember the underwater stage?
Yeah.
Swimming and then trying to dodge the.
Oh my God! Okay,
I want an art piece of one of the turtles swimming through the things. That's it.
Crazy.
That's all I want.
You just took me way back. You talking about the NES turtles?
Yes, the NES turtles.
God, yeah.
Dog, that underwater little and like
that game was hard too.
It difficult.
It was hard.
And you want to be even more upset is you're finding it right now, girls. Yo, the part that even makes you even more upset. Do you watch speed runs?
Yeah, I do.
Somebody has the world record time of beating the Turtles game in 35 minutes.
Really?
Dead ass. 35 minutes times. I'm like, how? But he ran through the whole stage, the whole game as Donatello.
It's funny because the speed runs really show you like how people could come so close to breaking a game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And speaking from a developer side, how does that make you feel? Oh, you found it? Yes, Skrills. That's it right there. Look, you're gonna throw it up there. That stage.
Yes.
Nightmares.
That's
Look at the
crazy.
margin.
Dog,
they
that's what I'm
tripping on
saying.
that. That's crazy.
Yo, you had a little jump. Yeah.
Because you would get
had to,
shot.
I remember that.
Right in between. Dog, bro. Nightmares, bro. Nightmares.
crazy.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
I
was
just want an art piece done of that.
That right there would be tough.
Yeah.
That's actually fire, though.
That's it.
That would be really fire.
Because that's all I want. Because that way, if you know, and you look at that and you just look at that and be like, damn, that stage right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny because and that's like when I design and develop my games, I always try to find that moment.
Yeah.
You know, because games are like content in a way. It's like you have to have, just like how you clip a podcast. Like,
Yes.
Games are the same thing. What is the clip going to be from this game? So when I was designing the Tia Corinne game, which is fun, it's called Corinthian Combat.
Yeah.
I made the second character like ridiculously hard. Like,
Yeah.
you beat the first guy. His name was Black Ninja, right? You beat him up, and you're like, okay. Then you get to the second dude. He's like a Japanese dude in a suit, and his name is Yenesi Kato. So I said Yenesi, right?
Right.
Yo, and so the name Yenesi, and he's beating the brakes off of everybody. People are like, yo, why is Yenesi so hard? So all of Twitter and all of her comments about the game were like, yo, Yenesi beat my ass, dog. Like,
Now it
yo.
sounds like Yenesi's go up there with Isaac Frost from Fight Night.
Right,
You know what I mean? As far as the most difficult characters.
Gotta have like that just difficult, like, what the fuck is this and why is it so hard?
Yeah.
So not like us, it was like the difficulty ramps up after you get to 17. So
Yes.
most people can't even get over 17. And
I remember seeing that on the internet.
Yeah.
People were like, yo, I can't get past 17.
yeah,
And
so I always think about what is the thing in this game that's people are gonna talk about.
Right.
And usually for me, it's like I always throw some crazy difficulty curveball just for the fuck of it. So every game of mine is like that. Like, man, this shit just got hard out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, you know?
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, damn, is that it, Screws?
That's all I got, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you for coming up here and
No doubt,
taking time out
man.
your busy
You're always
schedule.
welcome, man. If you got something else, man,
Hey,
you wanna,
I'll be back.
you feel me?
Yeah.
Give me, hey, pull up with some exclusive games, man. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
because I
saying?
think,
Facts.
like, now that we're doing this thing, man, like, I've realized, like, I got to be out there more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to start talking about the vision. So this was dope, man. Like, it's been a long time coming, man. Like,
Nah, for sure.
we've been
Very
needing to
long
do this for
overdue.
a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Marcus. You know?
Exactly.
We're
Word,
both named
okay.
Marcus.
Both named
so-
Marcus,
Oh, shit,
and that's why the Maserati Marcus thing, and he pulled up.
it
See,
comes-
you know what I mean? It kind
He did stun on you, dog.
He was like, "Oh, his name is Maserati Marcus." Well, watch this.
Watch that.
I remember one of my boys said, he was like, "Oh, so you Maserati Marcus now?" I was like,
Damn.
"Nah, I didn't mean it like
No,
that."
that's me. But, no, it's really him now. You know what I mean?
Yo.
Yo, appreciate you pulling up, man. Thank you so much for taking time out.
This has been real, dog.
So
Like,
if they want to get in touch with you or reach out and follow you, where can they find you at, man?
So all the socials are Richie Branson. Fan Arcade is the business, so you can like go to there I am.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, new profile picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to show off the chain.
I
and the grill and
see.
shit,
Stunting?
a little bit. You can follow Fan Arcade at fanarcade.tv. That's the website, and also like you could go to Instagram and follow our Instagram. You can reach me on Instagram, probably be your best bet. Or if you have any business, you want to throw some money on my way for a game.
Yeah.
info@fanarcade.tv for all gaming related inquiries. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's what's up, man. For sure. Squirrels, where can they find you at?
Hey, bro, I only got like 7 on Not Like Us. So me and my son about to get to it, bro.
Yeah.
I did on the Family Matters. I did get, I think, like 12,
Yeah.
something crazy like that.
There's a guy
bad.
who got like 326 on Not Like
Low key,
Us.
I was trying to get OCD on the top 3
Yeah.
before you came in. So be like, yo, check it out.
Ah,
I'm trash, bro. I didn't feed Kendrick enough Grammys, bro.
Kendrick just opened his mouth.
yeah. Someone give him a Grammy right now.
And they did. I was at the Grammys when he swept.
Oh,
That
were you?
Yeah, I was like, that was full circle moment for me. I was like, damn, he really swept that hoe.
Watching it, you be like,
Yeah,
damn.
I was next to Busta Rhymes when that happened.
Oh, wow.
And Buster was tight. He walked out. He was like, man, fuck this shit. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, he wasn't happy with that.
Sheesh.
But yo, that was crazy though. But,
Yeah.
yeah, Kendrick, man.
Yeah, for sure. You can find me at Moz's Road Official. I'll probably be on Fan Arcade myself, trying to rack up these scores, the high scores, man.
Get us up there, bro.
Nah, I'm gonna definitely do my thing. I'm gonna try for sure. And be sure to like, share, comment on the this episode. Let us know what y'all thought. And yeah, well, I'll let you on the next one. Your boy Mozzie, Richie, Skrill.
Yes, sir. We out.
Maserati.
So focused, I just need some meaning to my name. Plus, I'm cheating with these codes. If you thinking it's a game, that's real talk.